This is a very unique place in the world. It's the largest salt desert which spreads over 7,500 square kilometers. And what brings us here is the all-new Nissan Kicks. The Kicks is the biggest product for Nissan in recent times, and Faisal had been to Dubai a few months back to sample the Nissan Kicks over there. But the India-specific Kicks is slightly different. It's longer, it's wider and underpinned on a different platform. Let's find out what's so special about the Nissan Kicks. The fact is that this car does look much bigger in flesh than it looks in pictures, and though it may look like a crossover, it has very distinct SUV elements. You get skid plates both at the front and back, large 17-inch alloy wheels, flared wheel arches and black cladding all around. You also get roof rails which are not only for show but can take up to 100 kilos of load. The front gets the characteristic Nissan V-shaped grille which has just the right dose of chrome. You get LED projector headlamps, but the high beam is still a halogen. And you get boomerang tail lamps at the back. Nissan has given the Kicks a floating roof design, and you get a two-tone color theme. You also get a shark fin antenna. This car gets the best-in-class ground clearance of 210 mm, which is the highest, and it should be very practical in our road conditions. It also has the smallest turning radius of just 5.2 meters. You get a dual-tone black and brown interior color theme, and you got to love this soft touch panel on the dashboard. You also have some carbon fiber inserts around, and overall the seats, which not only look good but they are very supportive. The side bolstering for the front seats, the headroom, legroom and even under-thigh support is pretty good for this car in both the rows. The biggest highlight of the interiors is this 8-inch touchscreen which has a lot of functions. As a segment first, Nissan has given a 360-degree reverse camera which makes it very easy while parking. You also have the regular Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and the sound system gives out really good sound. You also get Nissan Connect with this car which offers smartwatch connectivity and over 50 functions. You get automatic climate control system with rear AC vents. The instrument cluster is very similar to the one we've seen in the Captur, and even the push button start is almost the same. Now what I really don't like is this key here. Though it's very thin, but it looks a little dated and it's a little big for daily use. Another thing which Nissan has missed is that there is no auto dimming inside rear view mirror. When it comes to safety, you get standard dual front airbags, ABS, EBD and brake assist. Other features include rain sensing wipers, automatic headlamps, cruise control and hill start assist. You also get a lot of storage areas inside the cabin. Because of the rear AC vents, you cannot open the center armrest, but there is a big storage bin right here in the front, and even the door pockets have a good amount of storage for 1-liter bottles and odds and ends. You also get a cooled glove box. As you can see, the front seat is adjusted as per my driving position, and I'm 6 foot 2 inches, and even with that I'm very comfortable in the rear seat. There is good amount of headroom, good amount of legroom, and even under-thigh support is quite good. The boot offers good amount of space, and as you can see, even with 5 bags inside, there is still room for more. powering the Kicks is Renault's tried and tested 1.5 litre diesel engine. The K9 series of engine produces 110 PS of power. Power delivery is very linear, there is barely any amount of turbo lag, and this has a very strong mid-range. Mated to this is a 6-speed manual transmission, and this car feels like a true highway cruiser. Even in the 6th gear, it pulls cleanly, and the engine is quite relaxed when touring on the highway. This car redlines at 5000 RPM. If you are someone who loves petrol-powered cars, Nissan will also sell you a 1.5 litre petrol engine. We've been only driving the diesel today, so once we get our hands on this engine, we will definitely come out with a review of that at a later stage. Unfortunately, Nissan is not offering any automatic transmission on the petrol or diesel versions, even though Renault does offer the CVT on the petrol and the AMT on the diesel. This car should return about 15 to 16 kilometers to the litre on the highway and about 13 to 14 kilometers per litre in the city. The global Nissan Kicks is based on the V platform, which is also coming with the latest generation of the Nissan Micra. Now, since Nissan is not selling the latest Nissan Micra in India, this car is based on Renault Nissan's B0 platform, the same platform which underpins the Duster and the Captur. This platform is well known for its brilliant ride and handling characteristics. This car is effortless when it comes to bad roads. You don't feel a single thing in the cabin. The ride quality is probably one of the best in the segment. Be it slow speed or high speed, even really big Cretas do shudder through the cabin, but otherwise there is absolutely nothing to complain on the ride and handling front. The steering is well calibrated, it feels quite light at low speeds, means moving around the city is quite easy. But when you're on the highway, the steering weighs up pretty well and gives you a very reassuring feel. But mind you, it's not like the one on the Duster, which is giving much more feedback than you need. This is just about what you need. NVH levels are quite acceptable, but this engine gets very vocal near the red line, which is about 5000 RPM. Nissan is offering ABS, EBD and brake assist standard on this car, which means braking is very progressive and predictable. The big question is, will the Kicks make it big for Nissan in India? Arguably, this is the biggest launch for Nissan in a long time. This car looks good, has well laid out interiors, the engine performs well, and the ride and handling is also spot on. So it's like a jack of all trades. But this segment is intensely competitive, and it will ultimately come down to the pricing. If Nissan can hit the sweet spot with the pricing, the Kicks can have a fair amount of market share.